Coming up on BG24 News, a Holocaust survivor spoke at BGSU.
Plus, how the ice on campus is affecting students. We have the details.
And officials have concerns about the Woodland Mall in Bowling Green.
We'll also take a look at your full Black Swamp weather forecast. Welcome to your Campus and Community Connection.
Live local news starts right now. This is BG24 News, live at 5:30.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alana Nessel.
And I'm Kayla Shadler. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Holocaust survivor Leslie Schwartz presented his untold story at BGSU Thursday. Reporter Amy Stegerwald says the turnout was larger than the university expected.
Community gathered together on Thursday, February 5th to hear Holocaust survivor Leslie Schwartz tell his story. Packed crowds wrapped through and around the Bowling Green State University Math and Science Building, forcing Schwartz to give his presentation twice. BGSU students had this to say on the matter.
I think it's important to hear Holocaust survivor stories, to understand the history that they're transmitting to us. Many of them are passing on, so I think it's important that we hear their stories now.
I think it's really important to learn about these things, and I think it's part of our history, and I think we need to get educated about it.
History major and teaching assistant Anthony Pearson says the history department did not prepare for such large crowds, but were happy with the results.
I was not expecting a crowd this big. At the history department, we were actually expecting something a lot smaller, and so we've been really promoting it, and it's really great to see it turn out this big.
Leslie Schwartz gave his presentation twice, each presentation lasting an hour. He spoke about his time in Auschwitz and his experience aboard the death trains. He also discussed how learning the German language helped him survive.
It was very inspirational, and it was obviously a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Holocaust survivor stories tug at the hearts of many, and Schwartz is proved to be nothing less than inspirational. Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Amy Stegerwald.
More than 500 people attended the presentation.
In other campus news, the College of Education and Human Development conducted a new study. Faculty members surveyed 1,000 students from grades 7 to 10. The surveys were done over a span of 4 years. Students answered questions about their family and how they feel about schoolwork. The goal is to help better understand how adolescents view their education.
Melted snow is causing roads and sidewalks to freeze on and off campus. Campus police advise students to take precautions while walking and driving around the area. BGSU officer John Ludhart says awareness of your surroundings is necessary while driving.
The biggest thing is when you get on top of it is not to slam on your brakes, not to try to steer out of it. That's what makes it worse. I mean, you're really at the mercy of your vehicle.
Ludhart also says while driving with caution is necessary, walking to class with precaution is just as important.
Now let's take a look at your first Black Swamp weather forecast.
Hi, I'm Taylor, and I'm going to give you your first look at the Black Swamp weather forecast. Currently, it is 23 degrees, but the real feel is 10 degrees. Winds are going northeast at 7 miles per hour. There's a 7% chance of precipitation and 69% humidity. So we have a pretty chilly weekend ahead of us.
A car crash left 3 people dead just north of Bowling Green. The fatal crash occurred Friday on Ohio Highway 25. Kenneth Johnson was driving northbound when his car collided with a southbound vehicle that crossed the center line. Johnson and his passenger Diane Jacobs died at the scene. A third passenger, Donna Jacobs, was taken to the hospital. She died later that day. The fourth passenger, Harley Jacobs, was listed in critical condition.
The future of the Woodland Mall in Bowling Green is in question. City Council members met over the weekend to discuss concerns about the mall. Council members are displeased with the appearance of the mall. Council members are looking for ways to improve the condition of the building and the parking lot.
City Council members also met on Saturday to discuss the Oak Grove Cemetery. With a limited amount of space left, the city may not continue to manage the cemetery. About 500 spaces are available. The council believes the cemetery will be full within 10 years. One option is to allow private companies to manage the site.
Coming up, how snow days can affect dining halls on BG's campus. Plus, several arrests were made in BG over the weekend. We have the details ahead. BGSU's Dining Services decides how it will handle snow days. Reporter Nick Dombey found out how details. For information on campus dining,
a hot and fresh meal at the Oaks and Carillon dining halls, despite the university declaring it a snow day. Smaller facilities remain closed, so the bigger dining halls could remain open. Director of Dining Services Mike Paulus explained why they chose to keep the large halls open.
So it's easier for us to actually manage the all you care to eats to produce the biggest bang for the buck for the students and taking care of the largest audience.
Paulus encourages students to regularly check the BGSU Dining Facebook and Twitter page for regular updates. Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Nick Dombey.
for information on campus dining halls, visit bgsudining.org.
A Bowling Green man faces drug charges. Police arrested Dustin Young for heroin possession Friday afternoon. Witnesses reported seeing Young using heroin at the Circle K on North Main Street. Police later stopped Young for expired plates on a vehicle. Young gave officers permission to search the vehicle. They found a small amount of heroin.
Police charged with 2 BG residents with trespassing last weekend. Officers arrested Greg Gibson and Lawrence Smalley for trespassing at La Marie's Laundromat early Saturday morning. A security camera caught Smalley throwing items at a window and urine on the floor.
Authorities arrested a Pemberville man in Bowling Green Saturday. Police arrived at Mr. Spot's restaurant on North Main Street after a reported fight. Officers saw Derek Bushman punching another individual. When police attempted to stop the fight, Bushman resisted and wrestled with an officer. Bushman was charged with assault, resisting arrest, and underage drinking.
Schools in Wood County could lose funding. Under Ohio Governor John Cash's 2-year budget proposal, 6 of Wood County's 9 schools could lose a percentage of state funding. The new proposal considers schools' funding ability and rates and property value. The budget is proposal. None of the numbers are final.
A new survey is making its way around Wood County. Starting last week, random homes in Wood County were mailed with a survey along with $2. The money is added to help ensure that the survey is filled out. The survey asks over 100 questions about family health and insurance. The goal of the survey is to help determine local health problems and help decide where money should be spent.
Coming up when we return, a drug case in Wood County is being reopened.
Plus, we'll have your full Black Swamp weather forecast. Stay with us.
Live local forecast with BG24 Black Swamp Weather.
Hi, I'm Taylor, and this is your Black Swamp weather forecast. Currently, it is 23 degrees, but with a real feel of 10 degrees. Winds are going northeast at 7 miles per hour with a 7% chance of precipitation and 69% humidity. Tonight's forecast will drop down to 16 degrees with a low of 14 degrees. Winds are going to go east-southeast at 5 miles per hour. There is a 5% chance of precipitation, 82% humidity. Tomorrow's forecast will warm up at 35 degrees with a low of 25 degrees. Winds will go southwest at 12 miles per hour. There will be a 58% chance of precipitation and an 80% humidity. Tomorrow's night's forecast will drop with 17 degrees and a low of -1 degree. Winds will go west at 16 miles per hour, a 20% chance of precipitation, and 77% humidity. Across the border, we see Toledo at 26 degrees, BG at 24 degrees, Genoa at 23 degrees, Fremont also at 23 degrees, Fostoria at 24 degrees, Sandusky at 24 degrees, and Swanton, Wasan at 24 degrees, and Holgate at 25 degrees. We have Wednesday will be 58% chance precipitation, a high of 35 with a low of 17 degrees. Thursday we'll see 63% precipitation with a high of 19 and a low of 1 degree. Friday we'll see 25% 25% chance of precipitation with a high of 20 degrees and a low of 15 degrees. Saturday, we'll see a 70% chance of precipitation with a high of 16 degrees and a low of -4 degrees. Sunday, we'll see a 2% chance of precipitation with a high of 9 and a low of 2 degrees.
So it looks like it's just going to keep getting colder.
Yes, we won't have much snow, but it will be a pretty chilly weekend.
We got a little glimpse of warm on Sunday, but the temperatures are way back down.
That's about it.
A Wood County drug case is under review. The Ohio 6th Court of Appeals is ordering Rafael Gonzalez to be resentenced. Gonzalez is currently serving an 11-year sentence for possession of cocaine in a major drug offender specification. He was sentenced back in 2013. The case is being reviewed due to an introduction of new evidence.
A Perrysburg man is being hospitalized after stabbing himself with a pair of scissors. David Detzel was reported standing naked with cuts on his wrist at the Days Inn in Bowling Green Monday morning. When police arrived at the scene, Detzel stabbed himself in the neck twice before being subdued by officers. Detzel was taken to Wood County Hospital and then St. Vincent's in Toledo. All charges are pending.
A Toledo woman was sentenced to prison this morning. A Wood County judge sentenced Hugh Zhang to 6 years in prison for kidnapping and robbery. Zhang was part of a group that kidnapped a Chinese national from the University of Toledo and took him to a vacant home in BG. The other 3 in the group all pleaded guilty to lesser charges and were sentenced to 3 years in prison.
Casinos in Ohio are experiencing a rise in profit. 3 of Ohio's 4 casinos are up almost 9% in profits from last year. Toledo's Hollywood Casino saw the largest percentage jump, over 20%. Columbus led the state in revenue with almost $18 million. The only casino to lose money was in Cincinnati.
The family of an American woman received confirmation from the terrorist group ISIS of her death. The family of Kayla Mueller received a message from ISIS over the weekend claiming she died in a Jordanian airstrike. Mueller was captured in northern Syria back in 2013 after leaving a Doctors Without Doctors hospital. No information in Mueller's death is official.
Toby Fleming joins us now for a look at campus and community sports. Toby?
Thanks, Alana. Coming up on BG24 Sports, men's basketball is looking to extend its 2-game winning streak. Plus, we have the Pizza Hut Athletes of the Week. All this and more coming up next.
It's unfalcon-believable coverage that you won't get anywhere else. This is BG24 Sports.
Welcome to BG24 Sports. I'm Toby Fleming. The BG men's basketball team is seeing some action tonight as they take on the Western Michigan Broncos. It's going to be a battle between defense and offense. BG allows less than 60 points per game, ranking them first in the MAC, while the Broncos score over 72 points per game. The Falcons have won 3 straight over the Broncos. BG is 9-2 at home this season and 5-1 in the MAC. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. at the Stroh. Senior diver Rachel Perry started her Bowling Green career in gymnastics. After leaving the gym, reporter Katie Wernke tells us now Perry has become a leader in the pool.
Rachel Perry has become the leader of Bowling Green diving. She didn't ask for it, she didn't plan it, but her work ethic proved different. Perry has been the only diver to stay this season through the highs and lows.
I just feel like if I stopped early, then I wouldn't have given it my all, and I wanted to see how far I could go with it.
Coming from a gymnastics background, Perry came into diving having very little experience, but her progression has impressed all around her.
You're always a little concerned when you get someone who's never really touched a diving board before and they come into your program and you got to, put them at a Division I level, but I knew pretty quickly that it wasn't going to be an issue with her. She's talented beyond belief, and she doesn't know how good she is, which is great.
Perry has increased difficulty in dives at a steady pace. She has worked on the basics, adding in flips and twists as the season goes on.
She's a pretty quick learner from what I have seen. She wants to do well. She's really a student of the sport, and you can see she's trying to pick up little things here, everywhere.
But there have been hard times. Perry is new at the sport, and with that comes hardships. Perry says there have been days where she has felt defeated, but she says it's all about mind over matter.
I just knew that, like, my overall goal was to, to be good, and like that was worth more to me than being scared of a new dive or something.
So as the pool awaits new divers next year, for now, Perry keeps working, keeps learning, and soon it will be her turn to teach. Katie Runke, BG24 Sports.
The swim and dive is currently preparing for the MAG Championships taking place at the end of February. Junior Ben Murphy was named WCHA Offensive Player of the Week. Murphy scored 2 goals and an assist in last weekend's sweep over Ferris State. Murphy scored both game-tying goals for the Falcons, leading the Falcons to a pair of coming-from-behind victories. He has a total of 10 goals and 7 assists this season. Gymnast Alyssa Nocella is this week's female Pizza Hut Athlete of the Week. The junior won the all-around against Ohio State and Ball State in separate meets over the weekend. She posted a 39.35 on Sunday against the Cardinals, tying for 3rd best in Falcon history. Nocella also tied season best and career best in the vault, bars, and on the floor. Men's basketball guard Javon Clark takes home the male Pizza Hut Athlete of the Week award. Clark scored 18 points each in the last 2 games for BG, leading the Falcons to victories over NIU and Central Michigan. On the year, he averages over 9 points per contest. And that's all we have for BG24 Sports today. Follow us on Twitter at BG24 Sports Now. I'm Toby Fleming, and we'll be right back.
A nature preserve in Bowling Green is now part of the Old Growth Forest organization. The Winter Garden in St. John's Nature Preserve was added to the organization yesterday. This organization helps protect the preserve forests across the country. This is the second site in Ohio to be added to the organization. The 103 acres woods is open public to the year-long public.
BGSU is celebrating Darwin Day on Thursday. An event will be held in the Student Union to honor Charles Darwin. This event will feature several speakers who will discuss Darwin's contributions to evolution and humanity. The event starts at 1 p.m. and is open to the public.
Now let's take a last look at your Black Swamp weather forecast.
Thanks, Kayla. Okay, for the last look, we are going to have our 5-day forecast. It is going to be a pretty chilly Valentine's Day weekend, that is for sure. Wednesday, we're going to have 58% precipitation with a high of 35 and a low of 17. Thursday, we're going to have 63% chance of precipitation with a high of 19 degrees and a low of 1 degree. Friday, we're going to see 25% chance of precipitation with a high of 20 degrees and a low of 15 degrees. Saturday, we're going to see snow with a 70% chance of precipitation, a high of 16 and a low of -4 degrees. And Sunday, we're going to see a 2% chance of precipitation with a high of 9 degrees and a low of 2 degrees.
So like you said, it's going to be a pretty chilly Valentine's Day weekend.
Very
Everyone's plans
chilly.
should probably be inside.
You guys have any nice plans?
No.
Probably just going to dinners and a movie.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Working.
I can't believe it's getting down to -4 though.
I believe it. It's Northeast Ohio. I definitely believe it.
Well, that's all for BG24 News tonight.
Check out these stories and more online at bg24news.org.
And check us out on Facebook and Twitter.
Have a good night, everyone.